Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating stories in American coin collecting history. This is the story of a coin that millions of people used without ever thinking twice about it. It's the 1966 Washington quarter. At first glance, it looks like any regular 25-cent coin. It's been through pockets, drawers, cash registers, and coin rolls for decades. But what if I told you that one version of this common coin sold for an unbelievable $1.9 million? That's right. A 1966 Washington quarter, struck in the middle of the 1960s, has gone from being everyday pocket change to becoming one of the most valuable coins in United States history. So how did this happen? What makes this coin so incredibly rare? How can you tell if you have one of these valuable quarters? And what's the history behind it? In this video, we're going to answer all of those questions and more. Let's start with a bit of history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. It was intended to be a one-year commemorative design, but the public loved it so much that it became the permanent design. From 1932 until 1964, Washington quarters were made from 90% silver. That changed in 1965, when rising silver prices forced the U.S. Mint to change the composition of the coin to a copper-nickel clad version. This meant the coin no longer contained silver, even though it looked very similar on the outside. By 1966, the new clad quarters were still fairly new, and the mint was under pressure to produce coins as quickly as possible. In fact, during this time, the mint was trying to discourage people from hoarding coins. To help reduce pressure on coin production and ease public confusion, the mint even removed mint marks from coins struck between 1965 and 1967. That means all quarters from 1966 have no mint mark, regardless of where they were made. Now here's where things get interesting. Even though the mint had officially stopped producing silver quarters for circulation after 1964, some rare transitional errors have been discovered from the mid-1960s, including 1965 and 1966. These are coins that were mistakenly struck on leftover silver planchets from previous years. In simple terms, a few silver blanks from 1964 may have accidentally gotten mixed in during the production of newer clad coins. Imagine a silver coin being struck in a time when no silver quarters were supposed to exist. That alone would make the coin extremely rare. But there's more. Some of these error coins not only were struck on silver planchets, but also came out with unusually high detail, proof-like surfaces, or sharp strikes due to being minted on improperly prepared dies. These minting errors combined with the silver composition created the perfect storm for rarity and collector demand. One such 1966 Washington quarter, which had all of these rare features, was authenticated and graded by a top-tier coin grading service. It was preserved in almost flawless condition, with full detail and extraordinary luster. When it went to auction, collectors knew this was no ordinary coin. Bidding went wild, and when the hammer finally dropped, the price hit an astonishing $1.9 million. That's $1.9 million for a coin that originally had a face value of just 25 cents. Let that sink in. Now you're probably wondering, could I have one of these rare 1966 quarters in my collection? How can I tell? Here's what you need to look for. First, check the edge of the coin. Most 1966 quarters will have a copper-colored stripe visible on the edge. That's the telltale sign of the copper-nickel clad construction. But if you find a 1966 quarter with a solid silver edge and no visible copper, that's your first clue that it might have been struck on a silver planchet. Second, weigh the coin. A standard clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. A silver quarter from the earlier era weighs closer to 6.25 grams. That small difference can make a big impact. If you have a digital scale that reads to the hundredth of a gram, it can help you detect whether your coin is heavier than normal. Third, look for signs of a high-quality strike or proof-like finish. A regular business strike quarter from 1966 will have average detail and a somewhat dull surface from mass production. But if your coin shows unusually sharp details, especially in Washington's hair or the eagle's feathers on the reverse, and it reflects light like a mirror, you might have something special. Fourth, never clean the coin. It doesn't matter how dirty it looks. Cleaning a rare coin destroys its value instantly. If you think you found something special, get it professionally graded. Companies like PCGS and NGC can authenticate the coin, determine whether it's a true error or silver strike, and assign it a grade that affects its value. What makes these coins sell for such high amounts? It's the combination of things: rarity, condition, demand, history. A transitional error like a 1966 silver quarter is something that should never have existed, and yet here it is. The idea that such a coin somehow slipped through quality control and made it into the hands of collectors makes it a once-in-a-lifetime find. Add to that the perfect condition of some examples, and you've got a coin that makes headlines. These stories are what keep coin collectors excited and motivated. They're the reason people still go through rolls of coins, check their pocket change, and hold on to old coins handed down from parents and grandparents. Because every now and then, a coin shows up that defies expectations. A coin like the 1966 Washington quarter that turns out to be worth $1.9 million. So before you spend that old quarter or throw it into a coin jar, take a closer look. That common-looking coin might be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. And who knows, maybe your next trip through pocket change could make you a millionaire. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or fascinating, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. We've got more amazing stories coming about rare coins, valuable finds, and the history hidden in everyday money. And if you've ever found a strange or rare coin, share your story in the comments. Until next time, keep checking your change and good luck on your treasure hunt. Let me know if you'd like this script turned into a blog post, video description, or need thumbnail title suggestions or SEO tags for your channel. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Today we are going deep into the story of a coin that most people have seen 100 times and probably never thought twice about. It's the 1965 Washington quarter, a coin that helped shape the future of American currency. A coin that looks so ordinary, so common, yet one rare version has reportedly sold for an incredible $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.8 million for a single quarter from 1965. So how is that even possible? What makes a coin that you might find in pocket change worth a fortune? And could you have one of these rare coins hiding somewhere in your home? Stick around, because in this video, we're going to explore the fascinating history of the 1965 quarter, why it was such a turning point in U.S. coinage, the types of rare errors and varieties that exist, and how one of them became one of the most valuable quarters in history. Let's start with the historical context. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington. From 1932 through 1964, all quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. They were valuable not just as money, but also for their silver content. But by the early 1960s, the price of silver was rising fast. People were hoarding silver coins because they were worth more in silver than their face value. This created a coin shortage across the country. The United States Mint had to act quickly. That's when everything changed. In 1965, the U.S. Mint made the historic decision to stop using silver in dimes and quarters. For the first time in more than 3 decades, quarters would no longer be made from precious metal. The new 1965 quarters were struck on copper-nickel clad planchets. That means they had a pure copper core sandwiched between layers of nickel. The design of the quarter stayed the same. George Washington still appeared on the obverse, and the familiar eagle remained on the reverse. But the metal had changed, and this marked the beginning of the modern era of American coinage. Here's where it gets exciting. During that transition from silver to clad coinage, some interesting mistakes happened at the mint. A few silver planchets from 1964 somehow ended up in the 1965 production line. These were blank coins that were supposed to be melted down or used for 1,964 quarters, but they slipped through the cracks. As a result, a tiny number of 1,965 quarters were accidentally struck on silver planchets instead of the new copper-nickel ones. These are known as transitional errors, and they are extremely rare. Only a handful of genuine 1965 silver quarters have ever been discovered. But when they do surface, they can be worth a massive amount of money. In fact, one of these rare error coins was graded in nearly perfect condition and authenticated by a top grading service. It was placed in a major auction and stunned collectors when it sold for $1.8 million. Now let's talk about how you can identify a 1965 quarter that could be worth thousands or even millions. The first thing to do is check the edge of the coin. A standard 1965 copper-nickel quarter will show a copper-colored line along the edge. That's the copper core showing through. But if the edge of your coin is pure silver with no copper visible, that's a red flag that the coin might have been struck on a silver planchet. Next, you should weigh the coin. A normal clad quarter from 1965 weighs about 5.67 grams. A silver quarter, on the other hand, weighs around 6.25 grams. It's a small difference, but if you have a precise digital scale, it's a key way to tell if your coin is a possible silver error. Also pay attention to how the coin sounds. Silver coins make a distinct ringing sound when dropped, very different from the dull clink of clad coins. If you think your 1965 quarter sounds different from the rest, that could be another sign. Another thing to consider is the overall condition of the coin. Coins in uncirculated or near-perfect condition are always worth more, especially if they are rare. A high-grade 1965 silver era quarter can bring a premium many times higher than one in average condition. But here's an important tip. If you believe you have a rare or unusual 1965 quarter, do not clean it. Do not try to polish it or improve its appearance. Cleaning a coin can instantly lower its value, especially to serious collectors and grading companies. Leave it exactly as you found it and have it evaluated by a professional. You can send it to major grading services like PCGS or NGC. These companies will authenticate the coin, weigh it, inspect its metal composition, and give it a grade. If your coin turns out to be the real deal, you could be sitting on a life-changing amount of money. So let's recap. The 1965 Washington quarter is a key coin in American history because it marked the end of silver in everyday coinage. Most of these coins are common and worth just 25 cents. But a rare few were struck on leftover silver planchets by mistake. These transitional era coins are extremely valuable. One of them, in pristine condition, sold for an astonishing $1.8 million. That's the kind of story that keeps coin collectors searching through their change, flipping through old albums, and going to estate sales. Because every now and then, a rare coin escapes into the world. And when someone finally recognizes it, the results can be absolutely life-changing. So the next time you see a 1965 quarter, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. You never know what history or hidden value might be staring back at you. Your next big discovery could be sitting in your pocket right now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story or learned something new, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We bring you the most incredible coin finds, rare currency stories, and tips to help you discover hidden treasures. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you have a 1965 quarter you're curious about. Until next time, keep hunting, stay curious, and good luck on your next big find. If you need help turning this script into subtitles, breaking it into shorter videos, or want ideas for a clickable title and thumbnail, I can help with that too. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a deep dive into one of the most unexpected and incredible stories in the world of modern coin collecting. This is the story of the 2017 Washington quarter, a coin that millions of people have spent without a second thought. A coin so ordinary at first glance that most would never stop to notice. But hidden among the common are a few rare versions of this coin that have become worth an absolute fortune. In fact, one very special 2017 quarter reportedly sold for an unbelievable $1.1 million. That's right. A modern quarter that cost 25 cents to spend ended up being worth more than a luxury house. So how did this happen? What makes the 2017 quarter so important in U.S. coin history? Why is it highly collectible? And how can you tell if you might have one of the rare ones that could be worth hundreds or even thousands? Or in one extraordinary case, over $1 million? Let's explore the full story behind this remarkable coin. First, some background. The Washington quarter has been part of American coinage since 1932. It originally featured the portrait of George Washington on the front and an eagle on the reverse. That design lasted until 1998. In 1999, the U.S. Mint launched the 50-state quarters program, which changed the reverse design every few months. This program lasted until 2008 and was followed by the D.C. and U.S. territories quarters in 2009. Then came the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which started in 2010 and continued until 2021. This program featured beautiful reverse designs depicting national parks and historic sites across all 50 states, 5 U.S. territories, and the District of Columbia. The 2017 quarters were part of this ongoing series, but 2017 was an especially important year. That year marked the very first time the Philadelphia Mint added its mint mark, the letter P, to a circulating quarter. That had never happened before in the entire history of the Washington quarter series. In previous years, Philadelphia minted quarters had no mint mark at all. So the appearance of the P mint mark in 2017 was a big deal in the coin world. Collectors were excited because it signaled the 225th anniversary of the United States Mint. To celebrate, the Mint decided to place the P on the obverse of all quarters produced in Philadelphia that year. While this may seem like a small detail, it created a unique one-year-only variety that stands out from every quarter made before or since. The 2017 P quarters include 5 different reverse designs as part of the America the Beautiful series. These were effigy mounds in Iowa, Frederick Douglass in Washington, D.C., Ozark National Scenic Riverways in Missouri, Ellis Island in New Jersey, and George Rogers Clark in Indiana. Each of these designs was struck with the P mint mark, and they were widely released into circulation. Now here's where things get interesting. Even though millions of these coins were made, A small number of them were struck with unusual errors or featured characteristics that made them incredibly rare and valuable. One such 2017 P quarter was discovered with a double die error on the obverse. The doubling was clear in the inscriptions and details of Washington's profile. That coin was authenticated by a major grading service and sold at auction for a stunning price. But the real shock came when a nearly perfect 2017 P quarter, featuring a rare die error and pristine condition, sold for over $1.1 million. This coin was struck on a planchet that experts believe may have come from a misfed blank or an experimental piece. It showed unique surface texture, sharp detail, and nearly flawless preservation. It was certified at a near-perfect grade, which is almost unheard of for a coin that went through the normal circulation process. That one coin became the crown jewel of modern quarters and created a rush of interest in checking pocket change and coin rolls all over the country. So how can you tell if your 2017 P quarter might be worth a fortune? First, check the obverse of the coin. You should see the year 2017 and the letter P just under the motto, "In God We Trust." That tells you it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Next, inspect the reverse design. You're looking at one of the 5 national park or historic site designs released that year. Each design has its own set of potential errors and variations. Now look closely for doubling, especially in the lettering or in Washington's face and hair. If you notice doubled lines or shadowing in the words Liberty or quarter dollar, you might be holding a double die error. Check for other known errors too, like off-center strikes, missing letters, die cracks, cuds, or misaligned dies. Some 2017 quarters have even been found with rainbow toning or unusual planchet marks that increase their value dramatically. And of course, condition matters. Coins that are scratched, worn, or heavily circulated are far less valuable. But coins in mint state condition, meaning no wear, full details, and original luster, are much more desirable. If your 2017 P quarter looks brand new or is taken directly from a U.S. mint roll or bag, it might be a good candidate for grading. If you think you found something special, do not clean the coin. Cleaning a coin destroys its natural surface and ruins its value. Instead, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can evaluate the coin, confirm whether it has any rare characteristics, and assign it an official grade that will help determine its true market value. What makes the 2017 P quarter so valuable? In rare cases, it's the perfect storm of modern history. First-time features, mint celebration, and a few unbelievable mint errors. Add in strong demand from collectors and high-grade examples that survived untouched, and suddenly you have a coin that can climb from 25 cents to over $1 million. The story of the 2017 P quarter is a reminder that even the newest coins can be full of surprises. While most people are focused on old silver coins or antique rarities, modern coins can also hold treasures. If you know what to look for. Before you spend that 2017 P quarter in your pocket, take a closer look. Check the details. Look for errors. Think about its history, because hidden in your change could be one of the rarest and most valuable quarters of the modern age. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful or interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story about rare coins, hidden gems, and the secrets of everyday money. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare 2017 P quarter or if you're heading straight to your coin jar after this video. Until next time, keep hunting, keep learning, and good luck out there. If you'd like help with a title, video description, tags, or thumbnail text that will boost clicks and engagement, just let me know. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to explore one of the most shocking and unbelievable stories in the world of coin collecting. We're talking about the 1992 P Washington quarter. Now at first glance, it might look like any other quarter you'd find in your spare change. It's easy to overlook. It's modern, it's common, and millions were made. But here's the twist. A very rare version of this coin has reportedly sold for as much as $1.3 million. That's right. A 25-cent coin, struck just over 3 decades ago, has become one of the most sought-after coins in modern U.S. minting history. But why? What makes this coin so valuable? And how can you tell if you might have one sitting in a drawer at home? In this video, we'll break it all down. From the history of the Washington quarter, to the mysterious and rare 1992 P minting error, and finally how to check your own change for a small fortune. So stay tuned out. Let's begin with the basics. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. It was introduced to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. The obverse side features the familiar bust of Washington, and from 1932 to 1998, the reverse side carried an image of a heraldic eagle. These quarters were originally made from 90% silver, But that changed in 1965 when the mint switched to a copper-nickel clad composition to reduce costs. This is the standard we still see in most quarters today. Now fast forward to the year 1992. That year, the United States Mint struck hundreds of millions of quarters for general circulation. The Philadelphia Mint alone produced well over 300 million. These coins were made using copper-nickel clad planchets, just like the standard quarters we use today. But here's where things get interesting. A small number of these 1992 quarters, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, were mistakenly made using silver planchets. These silver blanks were intended only for proof coins produced in San Francisco. But due to a mix-up during production, a few silver planchets ended up in the Philadelphia presses and were struck with a P mint mark. This is what we call a mint error, and it's not just any error. It's a major one, because these silver planchets were never meant to be used at the Philadelphia Mint or for circulation coins at all. So when a 1992 P Washington quarter shows up made of silver instead of clad material, collectors take notice. These aren't just rare. They are virtually unknown in the wild. In fact, only a tiny number of these silver 1992 P quarters have ever been authenticated. And one of them went on to sell for an incredible $1.3 million. That coin was in nearly perfect condition, and it was certified by a leading grading service. The combination of the mint error, the rarity, the silver content, and the pristine condition made it one of the most valuable modern quarters ever sold. It shocked the numismatic world and reignited interest in checking ordinary pocket change for hidden treasures. So what does this mean for you? Could you have one of these valuable quarters? Here's how to find out. First, look for the date. You're looking for a 1992 quarter with a P mint mark located on the obverse side near the date. That's the easy part. The real clue is in the metal. Most quarters will show a copper-colored edge because they're made from copper-nickel clad. But if your 1992 P quarter has a solid silver edge with no copper line visible, it could be a silver planchet error. Another way to tell is by weight. A standard clad quarter weighs around 5.67 grams. A silver quarter will weigh closer to 6.25 grams. If you have a precise scale, this small difference can be the key to identifying a valuable coin. But remember, if you suspect you found a silver 1992 P quarter, never clean it, alter it, or try to restore it. Any damage can significantly reduce its value. Instead, get it professionally evaluated by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. They have the tools, the expertise, and the reputation to confirm authenticity and help you get top dollar if you decide to sell. Now you might be asking, how did such an error even happen? It's rare, but not impossible. During the early 90s, the Mint was producing both proof sets and circulation coins. The proof coins, struck in San Francisco, were made using silver planchets for collector sets. If a silver planchet from San Francisco was accidentally mixed into the Philadelphia production line, it could end up being struck with a P mint mark. Human error, machinery oversight, or a mislabeling of materials can all lead to this kind of mix-up. It's a reminder that even in highly controlled environments, mistakes can happen. And when they do, collectors are eager to hunt them down. So let's bring it all together. The 1992 P Washington quarter is a common coin, but a few extremely rare examples were struck on silver planchets by mistake. These silver errors were never intended for circulation, and only a handful have been discovered. One of them, in near-perfect condition, sold for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. If you find a 1992 P quarter with a solid silver edge and slightly heavier weight, you could be holding one of the most valuable coins in American history. This story reminds us that treasure isn't always buried deep underground. Sometimes, it's hiding in your pocket. So before you spend your spare change or roll up your coins for the bank, take a closer look. You never know what kind of history might be hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video or learned something new, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more coin collecting tips, rare coin stories, and valuable finds. Let us know in the comments if you've ever come across a rare coin or if you're checking your change right now. Until next time, keep hunting, and good luck. Let me know if you'd like this edited into shorter sections for YouTube Shorts or repurposed into a blog post, caption, or script for another coin-related video. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most incredible and unexpected coin stories you'll ever hear. We're talking about the 1980 Washington quarter from the Philadelphia Mint, better known as the 1980 P quarter. Now you might be thinking, what could possibly be special about a quarter from 1980? It's modern. It's common. Millions were made. But here's the shocking truth. One particular 1980 P Washington quarter reportedly sold for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. That's right. A simple 25-cent coin turned into a life-changing payday. In this video, We're going to break down the fascinating history of the 1980 Washington quarter, what makes certain examples extremely rare, why one of them reached over $1 million at auction, and how you might be able to spot one of these valuable coins in your own collection. So grab your coin jar and stay tuned, because this is one story you don't want to miss. Let's begin with some background. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It became so popular that it replaced the standing Liberty quarter permanently. From 1932 to 1964, Washington quarters were made from 90% silver. But starting in 1965, the U.S. Mint changed the composition to copper-nickel clad due to rising silver prices and increasing production costs. By 1980, the Washington quarter had become a familiar sight in wallets and change jars across America. That year, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 635 million quarters. Each of them bore the letter P, the mint mark for Philadelphia, on the obverse side of the coin, just to the right of George Washington's ponytail. That year also marked the first time a P mint mark was used on quarters. Before 1980, Philadelphia coins didn't have a mint mark at all. So the 1980 P quarter is actually historic in its own right for introducing the P mint mark on this denomination. Now let's talk about rarity. With over 500 million quarters minted that year, the average 1980 P quarter is not worth more than its face value in circulated condition. But as with many modern coins, it's not about how many were made. It's about how few of a certain type survive. Every now and then, something extraordinary slips past the watchful eyes of the U.S. Mint and into the hands of the public. That's exactly what happened with one very rare 1980 P quarter. This particular coin was found to be a one-of-kind mint error. It was struck on a transitional planchet that was not intended for quarter production. Some experts believe it may have been struck on a leftover foreign planchet or even a mis-fed silver blank. The coin also displayed unusually sharp detail, proof-like surfaces, and a flawless strike. When it was authenticated and graded by a leading coin grading company, it received one of the highest possible grades ever awarded to a business strike quarter from that year. But what really caught collectors' attention was the combination of its error, condition, and historical timing. Because it marked the debut of the P mint mark on quarters, the coin already had collector interest. Add in a serious minting error and near-perfect preservation, and you've got the perfect storm of rarity and demand. When this coin went to auction, bidding exploded. And when the final bid was cast, the price soared to $1.4 million. This sale stunned the numismatic world and reminded everyone that even coins from the relatively recent past could be worth a fortune under the right circumstances. The big question is, could you have a valuable 1980 P quarter sitting in your collection or pocket change? The answer is maybe. Here's what to look for. Start by checking the date and mint mark. It should read 1980 with a visible P to the right of Washington's ponytail. That confirms it was struck in Philadelphia that year. Next, check the coin's weight. A normal clad quarter should weigh around 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs significantly more or less, it could have been struck on the wrong planchet. For example, some rare errors are struck on nickel or foreign coin blanks that weigh differently. Now examine the edge. You should see a copper-colored stripe along the rim of a standard quarter. If your coin has a solid silver-colored edge with no copper stripe, that could be a red flag, in a good way. It might have been struck on a silver or nickel planchet by mistake. Look closely at the details. Does the coin have unusually sharp strikes? Does it reflect light like a mirror, even though it's not a proof coin? That could indicate that it was struck with fresh dies or received an unusually strong strike, both of which can increase value. Finally, consider the coin's condition. Coins that have never been circulated and have no scratches, dings, or where are graded as mint state coins. The higher the mint state grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. Grades of MS65 and above can dramatically increase a coin's worth. If your 1980 P quarter appears flawless or nearly flawless, it could be worth sending in for professional grading. And here's an important tip. Never try to clean a coin. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value instantly. Collectors and grading companies prefer coins in their original, untouched condition, even if they're dirty or discolored. What exactly makes a coin like the 1980 P quarter worth $1.4 million? It's not just a single factor. It's the perfect combination of rarity, error, condition, historical context, and collector demand. When all those things come together in one coin, you have something truly extraordinary. Even though most 1980 P quarters are only worth face value, it only takes one lucky find to change everything. That's why collectors keep hunting. That's why people are still checking their change, searching through old coin rolls, and revisiting their coin albums. Because somewhere out there, another rare coin could be waiting to be discovered. Take a closer look at your coins. Pay attention to the small details. The next big treasure might already be in your pocket. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more stories about rare coins, valuable finds, and the hidden history behind the change in your hand. Drop a comment below and let us know if you've ever found something rare in your collection or if you've got a 1980 P quarter you're curious about. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and happy collecting. Let me know if you'd like help with video title ideas, thumbnail captions, SEO tags, or repurposing this into a blog or Instagram reel script.